Have you ever had one of those moments where you think, this can't be happening to me? Well, let me take you back to a flight that changed everything for two teenagers, Chloe and Jordy, who thought they were just boarding a plane, but instead they ended up taking a stand against injustice. Picture this: a bustling JFK airport, the vibrant energy in the air, the anticipation of a new adventure. Chloe and Jordy, twin siblings with big dreams and an unshakable bond, found themselves settling into their first-class seats, sipping on apple cider as they glanced out the window, watching the world beneath them shrink away. Everything felt perfectly normal, until it didn't. As the cabin filled with a comforting hum, the calm was shattered. A woman in her 40s, sharply dressed and with an air of entitlement, approached the flight attendants. "Excuse me," she launched, eyes narrowing in irritation. "These kids are in my seats." The flight attendant, a friendly woman named Susan, moved into action, her smile fading ever so slightly. "Ma'am, we have a bit of a mix-up. Unfortunately, it appears the flight is overbooked," she said as diplomatically as she could. But there was an edge in her tone. And just like that, she turned to Chloe and Jordy, her eyes darting nervously between the twins and the angry woman. "I need you both to move to economy. Right now." Confusion wrinkled Jordy's brow, and anger bloomed inside him as he exchanged a glance with Chloe. "Wait, are we supposed to just take this?" he thought. But without a word, he felt that gust of humiliation clouding his mind. It was as if a switch flipped inside him. "Fine," he muttered as they stood to comply. It stung, really. They'd flown first class countless times, and now they were just supposed to shuffle back like they didn't belong. Chloe's heart raced, not just from embarrassment, but from a feeling she knew all too well. It wasn't just about the lost seats. It was the all too familiar sensation of being judged unfairly, of carrying the weight of others' biases. "Why are we the ones getting kicked out?" she whispered, her voice tremulous, yet fierce as they maneuvered through the narrow aisles. "I don't know," Jordy shot back, the fire in his voice barely containing the frustration boiling beneath. Their family had worked hard to get where they were, and here they were, two kids being shoved aside like they were invisible. Like their father, the CEO of Verta Airlines, didn't even exist. Back in their economy seats, they huddled together, Chloe quietly fuming, Jordy wrestling with the implications. "I can't believe this is happening," she said, a tear escaping down her cheek. "We shouldn't have to put up with this, Jordy." "Give me your phone," he replied, an idea lighting up his expression. He discreetly typed a message to his father's chief of staff explaining their situation, with the kind of urgency that only came from knowing his dad would want to know. "They're treating us like we're second class. This has to stop." Minutes ticked by, each one weighing heavier than the last, until suddenly the plane began to roll forward, then halted. The captain's voice echoed through the cabin. "We're experiencing a slight delay due to executive instructions." In that moment, both Chloe and Jordy felt a surge of hope. "Dad is on the case," Jordy whispered, squeezing her hand. "We're not just going to sit here and take it." And just like that, Martin Shaw, the VP of Operations, serious, sharp, and undeniably authoritative, stepped onto the plane, his presence commanding respect. He spotted Susan with the woman nearby, and there was this spark of tension, like you could almost cut it with a knife. "We need to talk," he said, his voice steady yet purposeful. As he confronted Susan, the atmosphere crackled. "You've put these young people in a humiliating position simply because of a misunderstanding. This isn't how we treat our passengers." And you could feel the weight of his words sink in. The lady, embarrassment creeping up her cheeks, stammered some incoherent apology, but no one was buying it. Chloe felt a rush of relief wash over her as the whole ordeal unraveled in front of them. "This isn't just about us anymore," she thought. Soon word began spreading through the cabin, and other passengers jumped in to support the twins, clapping and letting out shouts of solidarity. When they finally returned to their original first-class seats, the claps echoed louder, almost ringing in their ears. But the support didn't stop there. The incident went viral on social media, people sharing their own experiences with bias, their voices weaving a story that bubbled up like some unstoppable force. The woman's career took a nosedive while Susan faced consequences as the airline began to turn their gaze inward, reflecting on the impact of bias and implementing mandatory training, calling it the Bell Directive. And as for the twins, Chloe took to her art, capturing their story in vivid paintings that spoke volumes about their experience. It was powerful, cathartic, each brushstroke a testament to their resilience. But before the sun fully set on that chapter of their lives, Chloe and Jordy settled in, to reflect on everything they had fought through, their hearts swelling with knowledge that standing up for themselves didn't just make their ordeal end, but paved the way for change. And now I want to hear from you. Have you ever experienced a moment like this or witnessed a time when someone stood up against what was wrong? How do you think we can continue to fight against bias in our everyday lives? Drop your experience in the comments below because your voice matters, and maybe, just maybe, together we can keep this conversation alive.